Welcome back, survivors! I'm Lonely Wolf, and today we are heading into the windswept edge of the world. This is the third entry in our spoiler-lite region guide series for The Long Dark, a series where we explore the wilderness of Great Bear Island without maps, loot lists, or major story spoilers. Instead, you'll get immersive commentary, region dynamics, and practical survival insights, while the visuals give you a taste of the landscape without giving everything away. Today's region? Desolation Point, a name that should speak for itself. Desolation Point sits at the far end of the coastal highway, not to be confused with the region coastal highway, perched between sea and stone, solitude and survival. It's a small region by size, closer in size to some of those transition regions, but it does pack a lot into its tight layout. You can expect sharp cliffs, howling winds, a smattering of wolves, and heavy industrial remnants of a time long gone. You won't find the same gentle introduction here as you found in Mystery Lake or Coastal Highway. Desolation Point is a place of harsh lessons and tight margins. The terrain is rugged, wildlife is aggressive. The resources available are well guarded, found in centralized locations but annoying to reach. And yet, this region has an allure that few others do. If you are passing through, you might just gather what you need. After all, why go somewhere named after desolation? But if you do decide to stay, you are going to need to earn every hour you survive. The geography of Desolation Point is defined by cliffside paths, broken roads, frozen inlets, and ruined infrastructure. Navigation isn't difficult in the traditional sense. There's really only a couple of ways to go. There are plenty of natural bottlenecks and pathways that lead from one area to the next, both along the cliff and the shoreline. But the terrain punishes those who are not paying attention. You can expect high winds, limited shelter, and sudden shifts in visibility. What might look like a short walk can become a deadly trap in a storm. And if you're trying to outrun a bear or a wolf here, you might not have anywhere to go but into their maws or into the sea. That said, there are a few well-defined routes and choke points that help with orientation. You'll move between industrial zones, coastal features, and steep rock corridors. There's a rhythm here, if you listen for it. This region does connect to Coastal Highway via a mine system and a short transition zone, and it serves as a dead end for travelers unless you're looping back the way you came. It's remote, and it feels like it. Let's touch back on that transition zone. Getting here, as mentioned, is a one-way trip, in and out from Coastal Highway. That transition region, and I will cover transition regions in a future video, but it is worth mentioning that the one to get here is really tight and really thin. If you find Desolation Point tight and a harsh bottleneck, that way in and out is going to be much harsher for you. But that's all I'm going to mention about that for now. Desolation Point doesn't shower you with base options, but the ones it does offer are unique. You've got a handful of shelters spread across the region, some humble, some hazardous, and some hiding more than they show.
What have we here?
One of the more iconic locations doubles as a functionally essential spot for weathering storms, crafting much-needed items, and offering refuge from the wildlife. It's big, it's loud, and it's tucked away on the far end of the map. A fan favorite option, however, is the one and only intact lighthouse across all of Great Bear, or at least all of Great Bear currently available. The Lonely Lighthouse, aptly named, is my favorite spot to set up camp anytime I'm visiting this little slice of shoreline. It's got the necessities, but just like the rest of the region, it's only accessible via bottlenecks. Perhaps one could even argue, well-patrolled bottlenecks. I hope you brought some wolf deterrent with you. Those who like Interloper mode, or maybe even the most hardcore of misery mode challengers, might find the church a serene and comfy place, so long as you can keep the firewood stocked. Regardless of what brings you to this region, there's plenty of vistas and viewpoints to enjoy, both for sunrises and aurora. You won't find it a dull-looking place. Plus, the beachcombing is a wonderful benefit as well, just like in Coastal Highway. Desolation Point can feel a bit lean compared to loot-rich regions like Coastal Highway, but it has what you need. There's scrap metal, coal, and a few spots for reliable game. And of course, the Forge makes this region a vital stop for Interloper players or anyone chasing arrow crafting. Do be aware that wolves prowl the lowlands and the narrow passes. Bears have their routes too. Wildlife encounters here feel more personal. There's less room to run and fewer ways to escape. You'll need to be smart with your routes and efficient with your time. You can't be afraid here, you have to be in charge. Show the wildlife who's boss. Because Desolation Point is a dead-end region, it's best used as a temporary spot, or for a crafting run, or just a resource gathering trip, especially for coal, saplings, scrap, and tool making. It's not really ideal for cabin fever recovery due to its limited outdoor shelter options, and its exposed pathways make long-term habitation a challenge. For new players, Desolation Point is not the easiest region, but it can teach you a lot. It forces discipline, planning, and respect for the terrain. Once you master that, the region becomes less desolate and more dependable. Yeah, it's tight. It shoves the elements and the hostile wildlife in your face, and it dares you to make a mistake. But once you've got your training wheels off, this is such a stunning place of natural beauty and raw survivability that's hard to find and harder to match throughout the rest of Great Bear Island.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
There's a quiet intensity to Desolation Point. It doesn't hold your hand, and it doesn't pretend to be friendly. It's industrial rot meets coastal ruin, and it's beautiful in its own way. For Interloper players, it's essential. For challenge runners, it's memorable. And for those chasing the haunting solitude that defines the long dark, Desolation Point is unforgettable. It's not necessarily a place to start, but it might be the place where you get serious. So whether you're just passing through on a forge run or daring to call this place home, Desolation Point has something to teach you, if you're willing to listen. If you've enjoyed this spoiler-lite region overview, go ahead and give the video a like, share your favorite Desolation Point memory in the comments, and subscribe for more immersive, long dark survival content. Until next time, stay safe, and stay warm out there.